Why did I join the Army? This is a complex question, and when people ask me, I generally joke that poverty and Toby Keith are why I joined the Army. And that is a very simplified version of exactly why I joined the Army. So there is not a very short explanation for all this. It starts with my family. I am the eldest daughter. When I was in high school, my parents got divorced, and suddenly I became the responsible one. As that continued on with me being like parentified to my siblings, having to take care of them, um, dealing with my father, which is read my Substack. Um, but it was rough. The longer that went on, the more I told myself, if you don't separate yourself from these people, this is going to be your life forever. They're going to make you raise your siblings. You're going to be working. So I saw staying home as sacrificing myself and my future to what was going on in my family. I was also very poor. Enter poverty, right? I worked through high school. I didn't have a lot. My family was poor. It did not have much support financially or have the things I needed unless I got those myself. And that was from a fairly young age. So poverty there. When I went into high school, I joined junior ROTC. I did that for all 3.5 years of my high school experience. I excelled in it, greatly excelled. And I made all of the friends I ever had in high school in JROTC and all the boyfriends I ever had in high school. So having dominated that world, I was like, oh, I can do this. I can dominate the Army world. I also entered high school the year after September 11th, 2001. So I started high school in like 2002-ish. So patriotism was huge. This is where enter Toby Keith. I was the president of the Sierra High School All-American Club, and our mission was to spread patriotism on campus. So I was very brainwashed into I still am, very brainwashed into freedom, and the terrorists are trying to take our freedom, all these things that were like a recruiter's dream. So I kind of began to see it as my duty to serve my country. When I finally decided to join, it was when I started my senior year of high school. Most of my friends had graduated the year prior. They had gone off to college. I was very alone in the world. I had just come off of a summer where I was 17, and I decided it was super smart to move out on my own with my boyfriend, with my parents not really caring about that because they were all wrapped up in their own things. He was a really bad dude. So I worked, I supported us. I had a ton of friends who were there for me during that time, and I still remember everything those people have done for me. But towards the end of the summer before my senior year, that relationship ended very badly. He took off, and I almost dropped out of high school. I was almost like, I'm done with this. I just need to go and work. I forced myself back to high school. I graduated halfway through the year, which was possible with how hard I'd worked through high school. And I started thinking about what I was going to do with my life. I had already struggled a lot. I had already worked a lot. I had already taken care of myself. So it was very soon into my senior year where I was back at school, back in JROTC, that I was like, I need to get away from here. This is going to be my life. And I had just seen a preview of what my life would be like if I stayed. And I did not want that. So, in part, it was that I wanted an instant life. I did not want to have to, I was worrying about having a roof over my head. I was worried about having food. The military provides all these things for you. So when I talked about if I would ever want my kids to join, no, because essentially I went into the Army because I needed a daddy. And, I found a whole bunch of them. But, so, yeah, I talked to a recruiter. I got in, and then basic training is a whole other story that I'll have to go into, because I had a very bad time in basic training. I actually tried to leave basic training because of some things that happened, some bad things that happened to me. And I'm not just talking about training. These are things people don't think about. Being a woman in the Army is going to be a continued theme here, and how we are treated by the men in the Army. But I made it through basic training. And started the rest of my life from there. I did basic training and advanced individual training at Fort Jackson, South Carolina. So I was there for about 6 months. I remember sitting in the airport on my flight home, where I was going to spend Christmas, and just being like, shit, I did it. I'm an adult now. I have myself to depend on. That's all I need. Let's go. I did go home. My father tried to convince me to go AWOL, and I was like, I just learned about what happens to AWOL people. No, I'm not going to go AWOL. My dad is a character in himself. Drama. I can talk about him more. He's another reason I joined the Army, because my whole childhood, he was a veteran. He did only serve like 18 months. He got kicked out, but he made a huge deal out of his service, and he glorified the military to me my entire childhood, which made me very conscious to not do that to my children. So I think I've covered it all. I joined the Army because of poverty and Toby Keith. I'm Elle, former U.S. Army Human Resource Specialist, Iraq War veteran, alumni of the 101st Airborne Division, Air Assault, Strike. And stick around if you want reality.